Good voice acting can make or break a game for most people, and unfortunately for Wuthering Waves, the quality of its English dub is questionable. This is coming from someone who will always choose the English dub whenever it's available, and yes, that includes anime, much to my friends' dismay. So what exactly went wrong, and is the developer Kuro Games going to fix it? But first, huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, whose game, coincidentally, has an excellent English dub. Reverse 1999 is a 20th century time travel strategic RPG developed by Blue Pock Games. This game takes place in an alternate version of Earth where something catastrophic happened on the last day of 1999. This event caused time to unravel and flow backwards, a phenomenon known as the Storm. As the only arcanist who appears to be immune to its effects, it falls upon the timekeeper Verton to discover the truth behind the storm and the mysterious events on the eve of the millennium. Reverse 1999 has one of the best English dubs I've experienced, seamlessly integrating characters with accents from all over the world. Meanwhile, the beautiful live 2D art you can see here speaks for itself. Version 1.6, Notes on Shuri, introduces two new wonderful 6-star characters, Yangyang and Ge Tian. But version 1.6 actually coincides with the game's half-year anniversary, and that means it's filled to the brim with events and gifts for players. On top of the game giving out a bunch of summons, you'll have access to the first limit banner, as well as, most importantly, a free skin for the 6-star character on Li. This art style is just gorgeous, and you can get a handful of matching garments for all these other characters as well. Just look at how cute and elegant Jervis III is. Reverse 1999 version 1.6 is now available, so click the link in the description to download the game and gain up to 90 summons and a guaranteed 6-star character in 30 summons. After a cool cutscene, Wuthering Waves opens up with Yangyang greeting you.
So you don't know why you're here, where you're from, or who you are.
Her delivery is strange and monotonous, and not really what you'd expect given how nice her battle lines are. And the audio quality is just awful. It sounds like there was some real hardware issues going on, like it was just recorded at home in the basement.
The wind has brought us a warning. The Etheric Sea is converging. It seems a new tacit field is taking shape.
There are plosives all over the place. Every P, B, and S sound feels especially harsh. And, you know, I'm kinda glad I've only heard it through speakers so far because I'm not sure if I'd be able to take it with headphones. Frankly, from this alone, given how much Yangyang speaks, I'm not surprised that a bunch of people just abandoned the dub, which is a huge shame because in other areas it's got a lot of promise.
The girl, she's gonna sway your judgment.
There are other characters who seem to have some audio quality issues, but the worst is definitely Yangyang. Since she's the main character who speaks, yeah, that's not great.
It seems to be begging for help, but it's not asking us to help it.
I wouldn't be surprised if this turned a lot of people off her character. And the saddest thing is, Yangyang's voice actor, Rebecca Yo, is actually quite good and her voice is lovely. We saw an example of this on the pre-launch livestream.
I hope I can be the one to embrace all that you are and share with you all that you carry.
Unfortunately, in the game itself, her delivery is bad. And it really stands out in Act 6. Again, it's strange because her battle lines sound great.
Tempest, Precipitance, Serenade, Deference, Storm, hear my command. Let the winds roar, shape the shapeless.
She sounds so confident and cool. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please consider a sub to the channel. But there's a lot more than just awkward delivery and hardware problems. The game is racked with localization issues. There are typos everywhere, and these mistakes don't only impact the text. Sometimes the voice actors end up saying weird things that no one would really say in English either. But wait, there's more. Being a Chinese game, Wuthering Waves has a lot of Chinese characters and Chinese terms throughout. I'm pretty happy with this, because, I learned a lot of Japanese things from watching anime, so why not learn a bunch of Chinese things from playing a Chinese game, right? But awkwardly, the game isn't teaching me how to pronounce things very well. I don't know whether the game wants me to say Jue, Jue, or Jur.
Our great magistrate of Jinzhou was handpicked by Sentinel Jur.
What am I supposed to call this dragon, Kuro? There are some unrelated examples of things pronounced randomly, such as, most of the time, this word is pronounced tacitite, but there's one point where some guy says tactite. Inconsistencies like this are everywhere. It's really hard to not notice it. And the cherry on the top is that Kuro Games hired a bunch of excellent voice actors from Britain and proceeded to force them to fake an American accent, which of course doesn't sound natural. And worse, they didn't replace takes where the English accent slipped out. Characters like Chixia, Taochi, and Encore are constantly falling into their English accents, and I can't blame them for that, but whoever was directing all of this should have told them to redo that take. Unless there was some reason they couldn't. And that's why it hurts so much. There's so much talent involved in this game. So many amazing voice actors. If the voice actors aren't a problem, then could it be an issue of voice direction?
What a shame I can't stay and play with you a bit longer. Till we meet again, dear friends.
You're not going anywhere.
If the voice actors didn't know the context for their lines, or if they weren't told to retake lines that just didn't work, is that really their fault? I don't think so. You would be amazed at what bad voice direction can do to a really, really good voice actor. I'm sure there's more to it than just that, but I think if you check out anything else these voice actors have worked on, you'll see the talent there. But I think it goes deeper than that too. I think what really happened to this English dub was crunch. We already know that the story of Wuthering Waves had to be completely thrown out after the first closed beta and rewritten. Then you've got things like the localization took a while to come together, and after the second closed beta test, Yangyang's English voice was very unpopular because he sounded very young. So he ended up getting a totally new voice actor who had to completely re-record every line. I can't imagine how stressful this would have been for the team working on the game. My heart truly goes out to them. The inconsistent pronunciations, the strange decisions along the way, coupled with the imperfect and unnatural script leads me to conclude that the voice actors were fighting an uphill battle all the way, and some decisions higher up caused a trickle-down that impacted everything. Ironically, some of the best voice acting comes from random NPCs who are allowed to lean into their English accents.
He's spontaneous, always doing whatever pops into his head in the moment. He just loves helping people.
Back on the topic of battle lines, while most of them are pretty good, there are some characters who have been cursed with having lines for sprinting. You know, that thing that you do constantly.
Let's take it slow.
No, I will not take it slow, Taochi. But it's not all bad. A couple of standouts for me in the dub are Scar, Jinshi, Mortifi, Sanhua, and Jianqin. There are a lot of good voices, but sadly, the worst offenders speak the most often. Maybe one day, with better voice direction, they can give more satisfying performances. All that said, will Kuro Games actually fix the dub? I would be surprised if re-recording any of the voice lines is in Wuthering Waves' future, but I think we can all agree it would be welcomed to fix the new player experience. It's pretty dire. Did the problems with the dub make you swap to another language? Even if it does improve, will you ever go back to the English dub? I'm personally still team dub despite it all, and I'm cautiously optimistic that things will get better. There was also some talk of Kuro looking to hire more voice directors, but we'll have to wait and see if the quality really does improve. If there's anything that you're not happy with, make sure you use the in-game feedback. It's the best way to make your voice heard. But Kuro Games has already taken some steps to apologize for Wuthering Waves' rocky launch, which you can learn about in this video.
They've caused terror attacks of various scales around the world.
Fusing humans and tacit discords.